here I am, fresh back from LA, jet lagged to death. It's really kind of given me the impetus, being over there working on the Mercedes, to finally get this red Corniche up and running. I'm going to go right through the braking system. But I think I've had a spot of luck. Now, whether it be twist of fate, a little bit of luck as I said, or just a little bit of detective work, or all those things, whatever, I managed to track down a full interior that's already been recovered and redone. The complete interior for the car. I mean, just look at this. What's the chances of this? I mean, the workmanship is absolutely incredible. I mean, look at the quality. These are the front seats. You've got all your chromes, your buttons, your headrest, your motors underneath. The leather's absolutely superb. The workmanship's superb. You've got your rear seat and the back. You've got your rear quarter panels. You've got, you know, your door panels either side. You've got all the gubbins that go inside it, your armrests, you've got your pillars. You know, the colour scheme is nice. I think it will go perfect with the car. I'm going to paint the car grey. I'm going to put a black mohair hood, a grey headliner. I think this will just work perfectly. Now, the story I heard was, you know, the classic story where a guy put it in to get done. There was a big bill, he never turned up and they never saw him again, and it just sat there in the stores for many years. It's even got the sun visors. I mean, look at that. So, you know, if I told you I felt elated, that'd be the understatement of the year, because this is just beyond my wildest dreams. Who would have thought, eh? Wow. And it certainly saved me an awful lot of work. I mean, I would have had to find a trimmer that was willing to take the job on. And first of all, I had to find the seats and the centre console and the door panels and the rear panels. Anyway, let's take a look at these brakes. You can see there, the brake discs are pretty much shot. Calipers look well rusted up. Yeah, that's shock. Probably do replacing this. I mean, it's quite good because if you look along the car underneath, it's pretty clean. You can see there's been, you know, considerable amount of work done. These are good stainless steel exhausts by the looks of it, and they're brand new. And even though they're not original, you know, it sounded lovely when I started it up a few episodes ago, so it's just one of them. Let's just use the car for a bit and, you know, see where it goes, and then I can just, you know, I can address those bits and bobs in the future. But for the time being, it's got a brand new pair of exhausts, and that'll do for now. So what I think I'm going to do, remember when I started the car last time and I heard a squelching noise and there was all the mineral oil, like literally pissing all over the floor? It's come from this. See that? The flexi hoses. They've just basically bitten the dust. So I could probably do with replacing all the flexi hoses, the rear calipers, the front calipers. There's 4 on the front, remember. And they're different from the black Corniche because they just take like the DOT 3 or the 363, how you meant to put in it. And these are mineral oil, so all the seals are completely different. If you were to put the wrong oil with the wrong calipers, you literally shatter your whole system, because it's, you know, you're dealing with a totally different oil which will just destroy all your seals, and it can be really costly. I mean, it's a whole new system again, so I've got to make sure to do it all properly. But yeah, you know, looking underneath here, I'm really pleased. I think there's about 12 or 13 flexi hoses in all. I'll just go right through the lot. I know everything's brand new, new calipers, new shocks, new discs, front and rear, and you know, we'll bleed the system through and see where we go from there. But yeah, it's good. So I'll put my order in. But in the meantime, whilst I'm waiting for delivery from IntroCar, I think the safest place for this interior is back in the car. we go. You know, it's almost starting to look like a car again. Okay, so today is Christmas once again. I've just received the shipping order from IntroCar, and just to give you guys an idea, I ordered it late yesterday afternoon and it came by 9 o'clock this morning. So again, once again, I'm really impressed. So let's see what we've got. Remember, I went through all the brake stuff and ordered it. Here we go. Let's have a look at these. These are the brake rotors, or discs as we call them. Look at them. Gorgeous. I think, are they the rear ones? Yeah, I think, whatever. Yeah, so it's front. There's the rears, the heavier ones. So that's them. So what's next? And as I said, you've got to be careful when you're ordering parts for these later Corniches. They're so different from the early Corniches because the fluid you use is the green fluid, is completely different. And if you were to put normal .3 whatever, or the 363s you're meant to be using, you know, you can have real problems, and you're just going to have to rebuild your entire braking system because it'll just shatter all your seals and destroy everything. So look at this. This is the full set of the flexi hoses. I think there's about 12 or 13 of them. Look at that. Quality. Yeah. All the ones off the reservoirs, all the seals, all the springs for the calipers. These are the hard lines that go to your accumulators, or they actually go to the valves that go above the accumulators. They're like a hard line. They're always prone to going after so many years. Just everything here. Copper washers, all the bits for rebuilding the rear hubs. I mean, it's a real comprehensive kit here. It's basically everything to renew all the braking system. There's your bearings there. Yeah. Sets of pads. The handbrake pads, and on these they've got a foot operated handbrake, rear handbrake, or parking brake as they call it. Sets of front pads with all your clips. And of course your rear ones, look at that, all nice squeaky clean, brand new. And it's a great feeling, you know, when you renew the entire braking system and you know you can depend on it, it's reliable. You know, you get that feeling when these brakes start to go on these after, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years, whatever, you know, through lack of use mainly. You'll be driving down the road and suddenly you think the brake's going to be there and you won't feel anything, and then they'll come and then you'll hear like little knocks and little squeaks, and then they'll grip on from the back as your calipers are seizing up. And it's always best just to go right through it, as I say, and have peace of mind and know that you've got a totally dependable brand spanking new braking system. Now look at these. Press these parts. Quality. These are your front ones. Look at them. Brand new. I know I've rebuilt these before myself, but I just thought it'd be nice to show you the quality and the service that IntroCar give you, because, you know, I can't sing the praises enough. Look how quickly these have come, and they're all on the shelf, all readily available, and I think really competitive, really decent prices. Yeah, so I've got all the front ones and the two big rear ones as well. So as you can see, I've got plenty to be getting busy with. Now, I'm afraid this is another one of them long jobs, but just take your time, get it right. Brakes are important. Right, that's them two off. And I think what the best course of plan is for these, believe it or not, I mean, you've got a huge array of hoses and clips, and you've got all your wheel bearings here for the rear hubs. There's just everything there, all the seals, copper washers. You've got your hard lines for your valves and your accumulators. Yeah, and as I was saying, with them two off, just look through your bags. I mean, this is one hose. If you look at this, it's got a completely different end. It's got the long thread there, and it's got a short end. Yeah, it's a short end. The other end is like half the length of this. So rather than take them all off and then have a bit of a mind bender where you're like trying to match them up and then you don't know which goes where or what hoses go in what place, just do two at a time. Take two off, match them up. Yeah, look at this. And that's the same length, same thread, same length of thread. So you just get two of those and just refit them straight away. As long as your hard lines don't need replacing or there's no pinholes in them, there's no leaks, just refit them straight away, move on to the next two and then the next two, and eventually you'll have refit the whole set. It'll just save you a lot of time and a lot of messing about. Anyway, let's crack on. So refitment is a reversal of the removal. But as always, just take your time. Don't forget the washers before you put the nuts on. And when you're nipping the unions up, just literally nip them up. Make sure they're tight enough, but not too tight. You only really get one chance at this, because once that pressure builds up in the system, if you get it wrong, it's going to piss out everywhere at a really high pressure. So that's two down, just another 10 to go. Now before I forget, there's something else I need to sort out. There's a little misfire on the black Corniche that I need to address. I've realised that one of the plugs might be cross-threaded, so I'm going to perform a helicoil. Look at your thread, put your special scraping tool in, just make sure your first thread's nice and clean and there's no burrs. Then to the special tap, put a little lob of grease on, insert it, just make sure it's going in perfectly straight. So just check it. When you're happy, get the spanner on and give it 2 or 3 turns. Check it again. Just make sure it's still going in straight. And you'll notice after about every 3 or 4 turns, you'll have to remove it, wipe off the swarf or bits of steel, re-grease, and then it's back in again. You probably have to do this maybe half a dozen times before it finally goes through. Then you move on to your special tool, you get your insert, and it should screw in, no problem. There you go. Lovely clean thread. You can put plugs in and out of this all day long. But one thing to remember, before you start the job, just make sure the piston on that particular cylinder is down on its stroke. The last thing you want is to tap a hole right through the top of your piston. Now this is the helicoil kit that I use. This is your tool that you put your inserts in with. And there's where the little tail sticks here. This is the initial clearing of the first thread. That scrapes it till it's nice and clean before you put your main cutting tool in, which is this with a lob of grease on. But the thing I failed to mention was this. On all these inserts, you have like a small tail, and that tail is what your tool fits into, see?
Now when this is being screwed in, and it's in right the way in, what you're meant to do is put a pair of long nose pliers down the spark plug hole, grab hold of this, which is already in there, it's all screwed in, and then just snap it off and bring it out with you, because you don't want this little piece of steel here floating around your cylinder head and causing all kinds of problems. But don't worry, if you don't manage to get it out and it falls into the cylinder, it's simple. Just start your engine without the spark plug in and it'll just blow it out, and then you can put your spark plug in and you're good to go again.
Right, so I'm testing this out now after the helicoil. Like I said, it just didn't feel right the last week or so, and because these engines run so smooth anyway, you have to really listen carefully and just try and understand your car. And there's no worse feeling than when your car isn't running right. So I decided to check it all out, and I realised that the last plug on the A-bank was definitely cross-threaded and it was spinning. Now I don't know whether this is something I've done, because there's an air duct that goes over it, and if you don't remove the air duct it's a bit cramped, you know, getting in there for space. So it could have been done by the previous owner, and once it's been done before or a couple of times, when you're putting the plug in, it tends to jump into the other thread that's being cut. So I decided to have done with it and just get my helicoil kit out, and it felt really tough. I mean, the ones I've done on Mercedes engines before, it's been pretty easy, but this felt like tempered steel. I think it's an alloy head. I'm almost saying it's an alloy head. But anyway, it's done now, and as you can see, it feels really smooth. It's firing on all 8 cylinders again, and I'm a happy man. You see, this is like nice and steady. Okay, I'm still on choke, but what this was doing, it was jumping up erratically. I knew something wasn't quite right, you know. This will drop down in a couple of minutes and it'll go to like 6 or 7. There you go. But yeah, lovely and smooth. Very happy. Thank you for watching this episode of Classic Obsession. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And see you all next time.